and do it for the long haul. I think college football will probably settle out and be more consistent before the ready mix industry is going to be. It may be that 2030 to 2040 decade that really sort of sets what's going to be for generations to come, kind of like the ad mix advances in the 80s. We're still probably benefiting from some of the things that those companies decided to do when that consolidation started happening, and they really got innovative and really got focused on servicing their customers coming out of the embargoes and things in the 70s that really, the energy crisis that really slowed things down. I mean, it's crazy to think, I remember talking to guys that said, they only run their plant 3 days a week. It's just mind boggling. Even in the downturn, even when things were horrible, we were running more than 3 days a week, but that triggered when that turned loose, that triggered that innovation in that 80s decade that we're probably still benefiting from in many ways in this industry. So I'm hoping that 2030 to 2040, when those, high school kids now kind of really get buckled down, they finish school or they learn their trade and they really understand the business, and then they want to set themselves apart. They want to be the leaders and the innovators. My career is still going to be here. I hope at that point I'll still be kicking and can see some of that. But if we don't innovate, on the flip side of that, if we don't innovate in this industry, in our acceptance and in our means of testing and the paperwork side of this industry, which is what a lot of that ASTM, workshops focused on, then all it's going to be is just kind of not for nothing, but it's going to be a lot harder to bring about. I think that's probably going to be where the biggest change in this industry needs to happen going forward before I end my career is going to be how we accept concrete, how we test it, and how we validate that it meets the engineering design. Because that stuff is still as antiquated as you can possibly imagine. I mean, it's terrible. It's been the running joke forever in this industry that, you cut and paste a spec from an old DOT or Army Corps of Engineer or an old engineering spec. You can tell by the typeface it was done on a typewriter, and they're still cutting and pasting it. We got to get past that because the rest of everything is gonna happen. The money's behind it, the impulses behind it, the needs behind it. It's gonna happen. But what's going to stymie it more than equipment and silo space is going to be that paperwork of acceptance and design, and people that just can't get past, making 6x12 cylinders on 3-inch slump concrete that got to sit out in the heat for 4 days before they go take a break. And it better break compressive strength at seven days, or you're going to get a stamp on this thing and have to have 17 different meetings.